the top stories, 8 more nationals awarded for service to the nation. Health authorities urge vigilance against COVID-19 as numbers increase, and COVID-19 task force suggests a revisit to a virtual carnival. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Time to chill and the storage chill. Choose a chill and the storage chill. Chill with flavor, blood orange and lemon lime. That's with bitters, yeah, yeah. We love the vibe. Refreshing every day, cool like island breeze. Forget your worries, come chill with me. And the storage chill, and the storage chill, and the storage chill. Chill with flavor.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. 8 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis were honored for their years of contribution to nation building in their respective fields. They were honored at an investiture ceremony held by Governor General Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG CVO QCJP LLD, at Government House on Thursday. More in this report.
During the investiture ceremony, after a brief summary of their contributions were read by various presenters, the honorees were presented with their awards for various fields. Mrs. Josephine Huggins received the Companion of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, or CMG, for her contribution to public service. The Officer of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, or OBE, was presented to Her Honour Mrs. Hyleta Liburd, MH, for her contribution to public service, and to Mr. Athel C. Rollins for his contribution to the public service and land surveying. The Member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, or MBE, was presented to Mrs. Vinetta Laws for her contribution to community service and business entrepreneurship, to Mr. Colin D.A. Tyrrell for his contribution to community service, to Dr. Leroy Richardson for his contribution to medicine, and to Dr. N. Analdo Bailey for his contribution to financial services. Commissioner of Police Hilroy Brandy received the Queen's Police Medal, or QPM, for his contribution to policing and leadership. Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris congratulated the recipients, noting that their achievements serve as inspiration for others to work towards a better future for the nation.
These honors also serve, in my view, as a powerful example for others in our community that we can hope for a better future. And any one of us has the power to make that future happen.
Referring to the awardees' diverse backgrounds, the Prime Minister emphasized that commitment to national service is the common thread that unites them all.
Whatever be our calling as a profession or occupation, we too can make the kind of impact that builds our country and brings this kind of high honor and recognition. The key, though, is to begin with the mindset of service and commitment, and the contributions will follow and flow to be recognized.
The 8 recipients were initially named on the New Year's Honours lists for 2020 and 2021. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
Health authorities in St. Kitts and Nevis are strongly encouraging citizens and residents to remain vigilant against the COVID-19 virus. This comes as there is a marked increase in the number of reported daily cases. As at Wednesday, the statistics stood at 34 cases confirmed within the previous 24 hours, a record 19 of which were reported in Nevis, 149 active cases, 590 recovered cases, for a total of 742 since March of last year, with 3 persons having died of the disease. On Tuesday, it was stated by the Medical Chief of Staff at the Joseph N. France General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, that 6 persons were hospitalized for the disease. Meanwhile, on Nevis, one particular company has been shut down by health authorities, according to Premier Mark Brantley during his On the Mark radio show on Wednesday night.
We have had news that in just the past 2 days, Nevis has had another 3 positive cases. When I spoke this evening to Dr. Nisbet, I asked, of course, for the update, and she had not yet had the results, but she told me to brace myself, and that we ought to brace ourselves because they had been forced to test every single member of a company here, because the individuals that had been tested and had tested positive were all employees of a particular company. And so they've tested everyone now, and it appears, although we do not yet know the numbers, that there will be additional cases.
During Tuesday night's Leadership Matters, Dr. Wilkinson noted the rise of the cases a few days prior. He said, quote, "We had 13 new cases on Saturday, 26 on Monday, and now 27 today, after recording daily low single digits positives and sometimes 0 since the lockdown. The majority of the recent cases were detected from social gatherings and educational institutions of the early childhood sector. The authorities are encouraging everyone who can receive a jab of the COVID-19 vaccine to do so to boost the population immunity threshold." The National COVID-19 Task Force has advised the National Carnival Committee to revisit the virtual platform that was used for last year's hosting of Sugar Mass and warned against promoting activities for Carnival without approval from the task force. This was announced by Chairman of the National COVID-19 Task Force, Abdia Samuel, who said the recommendations were well received by the committee. He was at the time addressing the NEOC briefing on Wednesday.
We have also received recommendations from the Carnival Committee, and the Carnival Committee would have been given some advice in terms of looking at their virtual platform that was used last year, and also they were cautioned about promoting any activity without having received the appropriate approvals. And those recommendations were well received by the Carnival Committee, and we are pleased to know that they will be adhering to those recommendations, and also we will be working closely with them to ensure that we can have some safe activities if permitted.
He said the task force has also been in dialogue with the Culturama Committee about the activities that are scheduled to take place during the independence celebrations in September.
We have met, the National COVID-19 Task Force has met with the Culturama Committee, and we are in the process of validating some of the recommendations to the amendments made to for the activities, upcoming activities in September. For now, we have seen that some great responsibility has been exercised in the recommendations made, and we will be giving our recommendations and approvals hopefully in the near future.
Chairman of the National COVID-19 Task Force, Abdia Samuel. An employee of a local courier service has been arrested and charged for drug smuggling related charges. According to the police, Andy Jones of Gillard Meadows has been charged in relation to a quantity of cannabis that was concealed in a package that was cleared from customs on August 11, 2021. He has been released on bail. Jones has received 4 charges from the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department so far. On August 14th, he was charged for importing goods which are restricted and not in accordance with the conditions and restrictions imposed, importing goods concealed in containers holding goods of a different description, importing goods packed in a manner intended to deceive a customs officer, and knowingly attempt to fraudulently evade customs with respect to the importation of a restricted good. He received bail on the same day in the sum of $9,000 with 2 sureties to appear at the Bastia Magistrates Court on August 17, 2021. After the break, the general public urged not to participate in unlawful gatherings, and increase in fish exports registered. Stay with us.
Up and away! My goodness! That is amazing! Clean them up. Oh, you little ripper! Oh, can you believe it? Magnificent! That's unbelievable! That is brilliant.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new Triple Play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a Triple Play bundle. Conditions apply.
Here are your Horse's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag Special.
Running August 12th to August 25th.
Essential Everyday Disinfectant Wipes, $15.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Pasta Sauces, $6.99 each. Glade Air Fresheners, Solid and Aerosol, $5.99. Quaker Cap'n Crunch Cereals, $9.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, $5.69. IGA or Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $14.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. IGA Essential Everyday Shredded and Chunk Cheeses, $7.99. The Colgate Toothpaste, $7.99. IGA Essential Everyday Frozen Vegetables, $5.49. Arm & Hammer deodorant, $7.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Joan en español.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a
Value Mart.
Welcome back. With the rise in protest action in countries across the region against vaccination mandates, Assistant Commissioner of Police Adolph Adams advised the general public in the Federation not to participate in any unlawful gatherings. He was speaking during ZIZ Radio's program Policing with You on Thursday. ACP Adams said the High Command was made aware of a number of unauthorized gatherings, meetings, and protests being organized by various groups in the Federation. He said the High Command did not receive any application from these groups to host these events, and as such, persons should not participate.
The High Command want to make it clear that no application requesting permission for any groups or person organizing or coordinating or host any procession in any public space was granted or was received by the Commissioner, or any permission was granted by the Commissioner of Police. If any such event is found to be taking place over this weekend, it would be considered unlawful and will be brought to an end by any reasonable means. Any persons who want to take part in these unlawful events, I can assure you, you will be prosecuted and to the full extent of the law.
He added that it is an offense for anyone to attempt to organize, join in, or incite these gatherings. Failure to comply will result in a fine of $2,500, 6 months in prison, or both. The Fisheries Department has recorded a significant increase in fish exports in the second quarter of 2021 when compared to the same period in 2020. Port State Control Officer in the Department of Fisheries, Maritza Queely, said since the ports have opened, there has been an uptick in exports and an increase in the number of registered fishers as well.
For the second quarter of this year, we have seen incremental increases for registered fishers, that's new registered fishers, and we have been seeing drastic increase in export because now that the ports are opening up, so more persons are now exporting greater than they did last year. So that's good, as fishers are able to market their products not just locally but also internationally or regionally.
Ms. Creeley also noted that the department will be stepping up its compliance measures and will soon be issuing ID cards for fisherfolk.
Fishers would be able to, under this new regulation, have ID cards. That's license card where the fisher would be readily identified, and so they won't have to come to the department for a letter. They will have their cards available, and so we're hoping to roll out this card initiative in the next few months.
Port State Control Officer in the Department of Fisheries, Maritza Queely. And finally, on the local scene, the Ministry of Education, along with its stakeholders, will participate in a virtual discussion on Friday to weigh in on the recommendations proposed in the Ministry of Education Career Pathway and Framework for Continuous Professional Development document. developed through the combined efforts of the Ministry of Education and the support of the OAS-DCF consulting team. The document will enable the ministry to fulfill the mandate of Program Area 4 in the 2017 to 2021 Education Sector Plan, professionalizing the teaching force. The session will focus on topics such as the need to professionalize teaching, a revision of the career pathway for the education sector, as well as the requirements for continuous professional development amongst educators. The discussion aligns itself with the Ministry of Education's commitment to improving the provision and administration of education within the Federation. Coming up in regional news, St. Lucia government still weighing options to manage COVID cases. The details when we come back.
Yo! You look like the dude who was shopping at Furniture and Appliances. See, my friend, you look like you buy something from the Ashley Home Store. How you know? Because we get the cashback coupons and the free groceries for a year!
Cashback is back at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture. Shop now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year.
Up and away! My goodness! That is amazing! Clean them up. Oh, you little ripper! Oh, can you believe it? Magnificent! That's unbelievable! That is brilliant!
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that sound?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. With the detection of the Delta variant of the coronavirus in St. Lucia, Health Minister Moses John Baptiste is not writing off the possibility of a temporary travel ban, although there is no indication that the government is considering the option. The minister has indicated that the administration will be revisiting the COVID-19 protocols. More in this DBS report.
On Friday, August 13th, St. Lucia recorded the first 3 cases of the Delta variant, 2 of whom were U.S. nationals and the other a St. Lucia national. Health Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste says the arrival of the new variant, which is wreaking havoc in neighboring Martinique and other parts of the world, changes everything and highlights the need for government to revisit the existing COVID-19 protocols. Mr. Jean-Baptiste did not say how soon the protocols would be revisited, but he did say that discussions with the hotels and medical professionals on the way forward are ongoing.
The Minister with responsibility for tourism has had several consultations with the hotels and with areas of entertainment, people who do that kind of thing. And yes, you are correct. We are very concerned, and we are currently having discussions with the medical professionals from our office, from our department, our ministry, and also with the Minister with responsibility for tourism to see what can be done. It is very clear to us that we may have to revisit the protocols because the Delta variant changes everything.
With Martinique averaging nearly 600 new COVID-19 cases a day and tourists being asked to leave, serious questions as to whether St. Lucia should impose a temporary travel ban have been raised. The minister did not say whether local authorities would be heading in that direction, but he has not written off the possibility.
There are professionals who say to me, yes, there is trouble in Martinique, but we are having tourists coming from other epicenters, New York, Miami. And therefore, whatever we do, we have to follow the science. And if we have to decide on protocols for incoming visitors or incoming passengers, we have to do it across the board. And we want to ensure that whatever we do is based on the science. So the issue of a travel ban, if we have to do it, if it gets to that, obviously our focus is the protection of the people of St. Lucia. And if it comes to that and the medical profession, the science says that is where we have to go, then clearly the government will look at all options that the medical professionals and the science point us to.
Currently, a 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew remains in effect. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
Cuba rolled out tighter controls on social media that target enemy activities on the internet. Decree 35 comes on the heels of the largest anti-government protest the island nation has seen in years. More in this report.
Cuba's president blamed last month's demonstration on an online campaign by U.S.-backed counter-revolutionaries. The new controls ban the spread of false news, content deemed offensive, or that, quote, incite mobilizations or other acts that upset public order. It also offers Cubans a form to report offenders. Cuba's Vice Minister of Communications took to state TV on Tuesday.
In Cuba, the internet is defended as a space for debate, exchange, reflection, expression, complaints, and proposals from the population. Decree 35 will demand an adequate, respectful, ethical, and truthful use of these communication channels.
Decree 35 does not specify penalties for breaking the law, but said any attempts to subvert order will be considered cyber terrorism. Some analysts say the law's vague definitions would allow the government to arbitrarily prosecute Cubans it considers dissidents. Erica Guevara Rosas is Amnesty International's director for the Americas.
Once again, Cuba is seeking absolute control of internet access and telecommunications and is also formalizing digital repression. It is seeking to limit the space where people can access information freely. Not only the access, but the exchange of information.
Cuba's new law explicitly orders the state telecoms monopoly to suspend services to users who have violated Decree 35.
Coming up, U.S. Appeals Court upholds a Texas abortion ban. We'll tell you more when we come back.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Up and away! My goodness! That is amazing! Clean them up. Oh, you little ripper! Oh, can you believe it? Magnificent! That's unbelievable! That is brilliant!
Welcome back. A U.S. appeals court upheld a Texas ban on second trimester abortion procedures, putting those Republican-enacted restrictions into effect. More in this Reuters report.
A U.S. appeals court on Wednesday upheld a Texas ban on one of the most common second trimester abortion procedures, putting those Republican-enacted restrictions into effect. Dilation and evacuation, or D&E, is the standard abortion procedure used after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The newly reinstated law forbids D&E abortions unless an additional procedure is first performed to bring about the demise of the fetus, which a dissenting judge wrote would force women into, quote, painful, invasive, expensive treatments that pose significantly elevated risks to the woman's health. Similar D&E abortion bans in other states have been struck down by the courts, according to the Center for Reproductive Rights. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals decision marks the first time a federal court has upheld a ban on the procedure and reverses last year's ruling by a 3-judge panel on the same court that said the law was unconstitutional. Physicians who are found to have violated the measure would face up to 2 years in prison. The law's advocates say it promotes the state's interest in preventing fetal pain, but major medical organizations have concluded that fetal pain is impossible before 24 weeks.
We're about to make it law.
The ruling comes 3 months after Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed into law a separate bill banning abortions outright as early as 6 weeks, before many women realize they are pregnant. Several abortion rights groups have filed suit to block that measure before it takes effect on September 1st.
South Africa will open up COVID-19 vaccinations to those aged between 18 and 35 years old from Friday, the government said in a statement, as it tries to ramp up its immunization drive. Here's more.
South Africa will open up COVID-19 vaccinations to those aged between 18 and 35 from Friday, the government has said, as it tries to ramp up its stalled immunization drive. The country has recorded the most coronavirus infections and deaths on the African continent. But so far, it has only fully vaccinated less than 8% of its 60 million population. Bureaucratic failures, bad luck, and onerous negotiations with pharmaceuticals companies have all contributed to South Africa's slow start. Healthcare workers were vaccinated from mid-February and the elderly from mid-May. Over 35s became eligible at the start of August. The latest announcement, made in a statement on Thursday, comes as the government targets at least 300,000 COVID-19 vaccinations a day by the end of the month. In the latest 24-hour period, it managed 195,000, according to a health department website. South Africa aims to have given at least one vaccine dose to 35 million people by December, compared with roughly 7.7 million now.
Up next in sports, football officials to officiate CFU matches and indigenous Brazilian canoers inspired by Olympic gold medal. Stay with us.
Up and away! My goodness! That is amazing! Clean them up. Oh, you little ripper! Oh, can you believe it? Magnificent! That's unbelievable! That is brilliant!
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
First up in sports, 8 referees and 2 venue coordinators from St. Kitts and Nevis will be given the opportunity to officiate matches in the Caribbean Football Union Challenge Series in the Dominican Republic. Media consultant to the SKNFA, Andre Huey, has the details.
10 football match officials from St. Kitts and Nevis will be traveling to the Dominican Republic to officiate matches in the Caribbean Football Union Challenge Series from August 22nd to the 29th. At a small ceremony at Football House on Tuesday, the delegation comprising 8 referees and 2 match officials were congratulated by SKNFA President Anthony Johnson, First Vice President Don Grant, Second Vice President Cornel Williams, SKNFA General Secretary Stanley Jacobs, and Manager of the Referees Department Malcolm Ramsey. Diane Brown and Dexter Tyrrell, both from the SKNFA, will serve as venue coordinators for the tournament series in the Dominican Republic. Speaking at the ceremony, Mr. Ramsey lauded SKNFA President Anthony Johnson for seeking to improve officiating in football, but also involving him as a division as part of that process.
And so to be given an opportunity as a division to, first of all, be even a referee, it was something special. But to be given the opportunity to become a referee instructor, that was something a little different for me.
Mr. Ramsey gave a commission to the traveling referees to go to the Dominican Republic to do their best, making special reference to the progression of young referees among the traveling party.
What I want to say to you, the match officials who will be traveling to the Dominican Republic, to make the best of the opportunity. This is just the beginning of great things as far as I'm concerned. If you want it, you're going to get it. That's it. That's it. The opportunities has already been open. If you want to go to the next level, it's going to happen. Because your performance, your ability, your knowledge of the laws of the game, the way you know how to referee, half of the job is done already. You just have to go and apply it, and I know that you'll do well.
Meanwhile, President Johnson congratulated the match officials and commended them for their hard work in being selected. He spoke of the progression of refereeing in St. Kitts and Nevis since he became the president of the SKNFA.
Refereeing, as Mr. Ramsey himself has said, was perhaps seen as a sort of archaic profession and entity. It was not seen as something that was progressive, that was all-encompassing, that represented a modern-day population. When I look around the room today, I see in almost equal measure young, vibrant males and females. And I believe that that is indicative of the work that has been done. Started, in fact, by Mr. Grant, who was the first head of the referees committee.
He also commended Dexter Tyrrell and Diane Brown.
But the fact that we are also recognizing persons who have been selected to act as venue coordinators for the same tournament, in the person of Mr. Dexter Tyrrell and Ms. Diane. I want to say a special commendation to both of them.
The referees that will be traveling to the Dominican Republic are Shandor Wilkinson, Reginald Gums, and Sanchez Bass. Assistant referees, Yolinda Warner, Tyra Wilkinson, Janiqua Matthew, Jaden Rouse, and Lenroy Paris.
The Olympic Games may have finished nearly 2 weeks ago, but their legacy lives on. Brazil's gold medal in canoeing has inspired a group of indigenous youngsters living in the Amazon to go for gold themselves. Al Jazeera's David Stokes reports.
Out on the water, training hard. These children are from the indigenous community on the River Queiras, a tributary of the Amazon River. They've been inspired by fellow Brazilian Ezequias Quiros dos Santos, who won a canoeing gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics.
He motivates me to row every day. My dream is to take part in the Olympics and win medals and to continue my career because it is not easy. Nothing is easy in our lives.
Growing up in this part of the world may be tough, but when it comes to canoeing, there are some advantages.
They were practically born in indigenous canoes, and that helps them with their balance and stamina.
Around 60 youngsters, some as young as 7, have enrolled in a project called Indigenous Canoeing, set up in 2019 by the Foundation for Amazon Sustainability and the Brazilian Canoeing Federation. The children are used to paddling slowly so as not to scare the fish, but they are now being taught more competitive techniques.
After the gold medal, more and more children are talking to me on WhatsApp and wanting to sign up. Our doors are open for everyone. I prayed for this to happen, not only for us here in the Amazon region, but I believe that all of Brazil saw it, and I think that every day it will grow more.
Motivated by medals and now with the proper equipment, many of these children are training up to 4 hours a day. dreaming that one day they too may compete at an Olympic Games. David Stokes, Al Jazeera.
And that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines.
The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris, wants to alert the public about fake Facebook and social media accounts that are circulating. These sites may look genuine, but they're not. These fake sites may use the Prime Minister's photo and name, but their only intention is to spread misinformation through false and scandalous information. Some of these pages are scams and will attempt to dupe you out of money. Do not trust them. You can find the real Prime Minister Harris on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for his official handle, which is @PMHarrisKN. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages that claim to be the Prime Minister's but do not have PM Harris KN right after the /, are fake accounts. These should be reported to the respective social media sites. You can also report fake social media accounts to presssec@gov.kn. That's PRESSEC@gov.kn. Facebook has verified Prime Minister Harris's official page by placing a white check mark inside a blue circle next to the Prime Minister's name, Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris. This blue circle appears just above @PMHarrisKN. Also, be alert. If the person claiming to be either the Prime Minister or another government official asks you for money through instant messenger, direct message, or any other means, this is a scam and not a real charity. This public service announcement was produced in order to help you be an informed social media user. Protect yourself and help spread the message.
And we're wrapping up with a recap of the top stories. 8 more nationals awarded for service to the nation. Health authorities urge vigilance against COVID-19 as numbers increase. And COVID-19 task force suggests a revisit to a virtual carnival. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage. Goodbye.